why do people think it's okay?
Kylie Jenner hardly ever posts her kids on social media anymore, and her sisters haven't shared pictures of them in a while either. But what's really strange is that she's still been taking them to highly publicized events and other paparazzi hotspots. If Kylie is fine with photos and videos of Stormi and Air being published in the press, why does it seem like she's trying to keep them off of her own platforms? The truth about her bizarre decision to hide her kids is honestly insane, so let's get into it. Most people are all aware that Kylie used to share pictures of Stormi on social media all the time. But over the last several months, a lot of her followers have noticed that she almost never includes photos of her children in her posts anymore. Even though Kylie still posts snaps of Stormi and Air occasionally, she apparently doesn't want anyone else, even her own family members, sharing pictures of them. Just recently, Khloe posted on Instagram about True and her cousin's annual dance recital, but there was a surprising detail that was impossible to ignore. According to Hello Magazine, one of Khloe's photos showed True, Dream, Chicago, and Stormi posing together in their recital attire. However, there was a heart emoji hiding Stormi's face. Some people commented to ask Khloe why she had covered up her niece's face, and her response was truly unbelievable. Khloe replied to one of her followers by simply writing, "Because her mommy asked." But despite her attempt to respect her sister's wishes by making sure Stormi's face was completely concealed, Kylie still wasn't happy. What happened next was absolutely unreal. In a thread shared on a subreddit dedicated to discussing the Kardashian-Jenner family, one Reddit user pointed out that Khloe's post had been edited. It turns out that not long after she answered her followers' question, she deleted the photo that Stormi was in. It's possible that Khloe decided to remove the picture on her own to try to avoid drawing more attention to Stormi. But many people theorize that Kylie had probably asked her to delete it, especially since there had been a similar situation 2 months earlier that was seriously crazy. In April, Kim shared a series of family photos on Instagram that had been taken on Easter. A screenshot of her post was shared in a separate thread by another Reddit user, and the very first picture showed Chicago, Dream, True, and Stormi, whose face hadn't been covered at all. Before long, the author of the thread commented that Kim had removed the photo of Stormi from her post. Some people mentioned that she should have known better than to include the picture in the first place, and the reason why was honestly outrageous. Believe it or not, Kylie had just opened up about her children's exposure in the public eye a few weeks earlier. In March, she had spoken to Raven Barona for the New York Times, and what reportedly happened during the interview was so bizarre. Raven noted that when she was talking to Kylie, Stormi had to come into the room several different times. Apparently, she even contributed to the conversation, which prompted her mom to make a specific request. Raven claimed that Kylie had asked her to leave Stormi's quotes of the final print. She said that her daughter doesn't fully understand interviews because she's only 6 years old and innocent, so it wouldn't be right to publish all of the comments she had made. Kylie explained that it's her responsibility to protect Stormi and Air, which is why she hadn't been sharing photos of them on social media as frequently as she used to. She added that she had decided to limit what was being posted of her kids for an absolutely insane reason. Kylie said that since she was 9 years old when she entered the spotlight, people have been watching her every move for years. As a result, she spent most of her life being heavily scrutinized. She doesn't want her kids to have to deal with every aspect of their lives being constantly criticized, which is why their exposure online is now under her control. That explains why Kylie doesn't want anyone else to post her children on social media, and why the photos that her sisters have managed to share of Stormi ended up being quickly deleted. But she also mentioned something else during the interview that was seriously shocking. Oddly enough, despite Kylie's decision to cut back on posting her kids, she didn't sound concerned about changing their exposure outside of social media. So as admirable as her remark about protecting her children may have seemed, it was also extremely confusing. Kylie clearly realizes how harmful it can be to grow up in the limelight. So why does she think that simply not allowing her sisters to post her kids is going to change that? She's still sharing photos of her children online and hasn't deleted her previous post. Not surprisingly, many social media users have been discussing Kylie's reasoning behind her puzzling choice to only limit her children's exposure online. Some people have speculated that because she and Stormi look so similar, she doesn't want her daughter to be bullied for her appearance. In one of the latest episodes of The Kardashians, Kylie got emotional when she talked to Kendall about the hurtful comments people have been making about her looks for years.
Just like, why do people think it's okay to talk about me?
Even if that is the reason why she's been posting fewer pictures of Stormi, she's not doing her any favors by allowing her to be photographed by paparazzi all the time. Those pictures are going to end up on the internet as well, but apparently that's somehow different to Kylie. But there's another theory about why she wants to be the only person who posts her children on social media, and it's honestly crazy. Many social media users believe that Kylie possibly has ulterior motives for wanting to be the only person allowed to post pictures of her kids. They think that she just wants to control their online exposure to make sure that nobody else in the family is making money from her children's images. If Kylie really wanted her kids to have more privacy, she could easily make that happen. She managed to hide her entire pregnancy with Stormi, so it wouldn't be impossible for her to shield her children from the public eye, at least to some extent. That's why some people are convinced that she's fine with exploiting them as long as she's the only one making a profit. As a mother, Kylie obviously has the right to decide whether or not she wants to post her kids online, but at the same time, it's easy to understand why so many people are baffled by her latest boundary regarding social media. Earlier this year, Kylie brought Stormi with her to Paris Fashion Week. According to Vogue, they attended 2 separate fashion shows and sat in the front row each time. While they were in Paris, a video was taken of Stormi that showed her looking absolutely terrified. The U.S. Sun reported that in a now viral clip, Stormi and Kylie were seen leaving a restaurant late at night. But Stormi was wide-eyed with fear because of the swarm of paparazzi outside, and she refused to let her mom carry her to the car. Instead, Stormi wanted to be held by Kylie's bodyguard, who had been carrying her in the first place. As he picked her up, Kylie didn't even try to comfort her before she walked away and got inside the vehicle. Sadly, that wasn't the first time that Stormi became visibly upset and overwhelmed by the amount of photographers around her. How can Kylie claim that she's protecting her daughter when she keeps putting her in the same type of situations that obviously scare her? Every single time that Kylie drags Stormi along to red carpet events, she is knowingly contributing to the exact same problem that she's supposedly trying to protect her from. There's no way that she actually believes that she's limiting Stormi's exposure online when she forces her to sit in the front row at highly publicized fashion shows. If Kylie isn't going to stop bringing Stormi along to major events and public appearances, what exactly is the point of the rule she has for her sisters? Why is she so against them sharing pictures of the cousin group if Stormi's face is covered, when she's fine with subjecting her kids to being traumatized by paparazzi? It's really bizarre that Kylie acts like her decision to suddenly stop posting as many pictures of her kids will change the fact that she spent years overexposing Stormi. It would be totally different if she actually wanted to give her children more privacy in their everyday lives, but unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. Anyway, now that we've gotten into why Kylie won't let her sisters post photos of Stormi in air, but she's okay with them being photographed by paparazzi, I want to know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on Kylie claiming that she wants to protect her kids by limiting their exposure online while continuing to bring them to paparazzi hotspots and public events? Do you think she has another motive for wanting to be the only person to post her kids? Or is she actually just looking out for their well-being? Let me know in the comments below.